ship. That will have to make it the 1,000-kilometer journey back here to the airport. We'll be here for that identification process. So very emotionally charged. And we're also expecting the president to come here eminently. His plane is going to land very soon. He will meet with the family members. So that emotion is going to go on for quite some time as these bodies come in, as what has happened is digested by the family members. The president is going to be meeting with them probably within the next hour. And obviously that's going to be emotionally charged too, because this is such a tragedy for this nation, because there was 149 from this country on that aircraft that went down.
I'm so awful. I mean, they're trying to come to terms with that and trying to understand what happened. We still don't know yet why or how the plane went down. Any word on the investigation, what still needs to be done?
No, there's a lot needs to be done still, Jane, and that is the physical aspect of actually retrieving as much as they can of the aircraft. Earlier in the day when these reports came out, that they were confirming, or at least at that stage, 95% confirming that this was the aircraft. You know, debris on the surface, one item appears to be an emergency door, one was a life jacket, and then they said that they saw silhouettes under the water that they believe was the aircraft. It's fairly shallow water there, so that'll make the retrieval process fairly easy, but it's the forensic investigation that's going to take quite some time. Locating those flight data recorders, going through those, and figure out exactly what happened. So this process takes months, if not years, before they can get a definitive scientific reason why this aircraft went down. And just because the bodies were retrieved and identified doesn't mean that emotional roller coaster that these family members go through is over. It's going to take a long time, obviously, but when you have a huge question mark as to why the aircraft went down, that's going to add that, and that's going to string it out. But right now, no real indication as to why the aircraft went down.
All right, let's leave you there, Scott, and take a quick look at the events of the past 2 days. Flight QZ8501 left Surabaya at 5:36 a.m. local time on Sunday. At 6:12, the pilot asked air traffic control to change the flight path to avoid bad weather. 6 hours later, the plane disappeared from air traffic control's radar. It was declared missing at 7:55. That's 25 minutes after it was due to land in Singapore. Reports of debris from the plane began to surface a few hours ago, 2 days after this. Christy Yates is an independent aviation analyst based in England. He said why it's so hard to find this aircraft.
That last radio transmission was the point at which the aircraft sent any sort of communication that gave an indication as to the location of it. But of course, once the airplane starts to disappear and then does disappear, all communication is lost. And for that reason, there has to be a better way of identifying and locating an aircraft. There are actually companies that are now pretty growth with this task of identifying the problem and identifying where an aircraft might be. But much of that technology is in its infancy, and it will take time before airlines start to buy into those sorts of solutions.
The Associated Press is reporting gunfire has been heard near the presidential palace in the Gambian capital, Banjul. Witnesses say soldiers linked to the presidential guard were involved in that. The AFP news agency is quoting diplomatic sources saying a military coup was foiled. Long-time President Yahya Jammeh is out of the country visiting France. Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny is calling for Vladimir Putin's government to be destroyed. The court found him guilty of stealing money, but handed down a suspended sentence that he won't be serving time in jail. Navalny led protests against Russian President Vladimir Putin 3 years ago. His brother did receive a 3.5-year prison sentence for embezzlement. Thousands of Navalny supporters have promised to protest outside the Kremlin. Peter Sharp has more from Moscow.
Well, the prosecution in this case is calling for a 10-year prison sentence for Navalny. In the end, he was found guilty and sentenced to 3.5 years suspended. Now, this effectively means that he is out of politics. This is a man who really was the face of political opposition to Putin and the Kremlin. He's been described as the man the Kremlin fears the most. Well, if he'll be out of politics, that will dismay his supporters who have grown in numbers since his bid to run for mayor in 2013. They were particularly angry when this verdict, which was scheduled for January 15th, was suddenly, without any notice at all, brought forward to this morning. And they are promising a huge rally near the Kremlin later this afternoon. Navalny, when he left, urged the people to protest, and he said, look, Putin's regime must be brought down. So basically, to sum up, Navalny, with a 3.5 years, found guilty of serving a suspended sentence.
And Anthony Mashir explains why Navalny's case is so important. Alexei Navalny is for many the face of Russian opposition. He's been one of the most vocal opponents of President Vladimir Putin, famous for once calling the ruling party, United Russia, a bunch of crooks and thieves. In July last year, he was jailed by a court in Brron, that's 1,000 kilometers northeast of Moscow. He was found guilty of embezzling more than $500 million. The allegations involve a state-owned timber company and date back to when he was advising the local governor. He was given a 5-year suspended sentence. Some political observers at the time warned that jailing him would create a Russian Mandela, boosting his popularity and his profile. In September last year, he ran for mayor of Moscow. During his campaign, he attacked corruption among the allies of President Putin.
Every family in Russia has the right to $50,000. Where has this money gone? What have the ordinary families got from Russia's natural wealth?
Despite various smears on state television and a small campaign, he was able to win support among voters, gaining around a third of the voting. But in February, his political ambitions came to an abrupt end when he was placed under house arrest. He could only leave his flat, and the police drive him here to his court case hearing. His wife Yulia and his brother Oleg always by his side. Throughout his trial, he remained defiant.
This junta, which has laid their hands on everything in Russia, and is building resources-based feudal capitalism, will sooner or later fall.
The Kremlin denies influence in the judiciary, but Navalny blames the political establishment for attempting to silence him. If it has been trying to keep him quiet, it's clearly not worked. In just a few years, this young anti-corruption blogger has become one of the biggest challenges to President Putin's grip on power. Nancy Bashiri, Al Jazeera. The Pakistani police have rearrested the main suspect of the 2008 Mumbai attacks. On Monday, a court suspended Zahir Rahman Lakbi's detention order for allegedly planning and carrying out the attacks, citing a lack of evidence. But before he was free from jail, police arrested him on Tuesday. On another case, police say the new arrest is tied to an abduction that happened nearly 7 years ago. In the Philippines, flash floods and landslides triggered by a tropical storm have killed at least 29 people. Tropical storm January dumped heavy rains on the southern Mindanao Island on Monday, destroying bridges and highways. Thousands of residents were forced to seek shelter at evacuation centers. The storm then pushed its way through eastern and central Ireland, where most of the deaths occurred. Much more to come here on Al Jazeera.
This is the only place for us to breathe.
Take us to a rare site for free speech in the Iraqi capital. And the South Korea Airlines executive base was caught for her reaction over a bag of wrongly served nuts.
Hello, and welcome to look at the weather across Asia. Partly northeastern area, that's the weather system which is clearing away. We've got some quite cold air being dragged in from the north, so the temperatures are still quite low across the Korean Peninsula. The risk of some snow by the bottom of that -8. But for certainly much of Hong mainland China. It's a tricky one for Beijing with that wind coming in off the Mongolian steppe. Further towards the south, so we're looking at 10 degrees in Shanghai. It's not too bad here. These across much of southern China and Taiwan. Weather conditions are looking fine. The same really goes for much of Indochina. Looking good here, eastern sector of India, Bangladesh, all enjoying very bright weather conditions. Now, as we look at that day, there's a little bit of a change in the weather. There's some awful weather conditions across China. There's still some showers around. There's low tropical depression which is forming and heading further towards north. So hopefully that will take the thrust of the rain away from Sri Lanka. But certainly across some parts of the eastern coast of India, we'll see some heavy rain developing here. Central and northern areas likely dry and fine. 18 degrees in New Delhi. Nighttime temperatures still into single digits, but fine across much of Pakistan. Highs of 25 expected in Karachi.
We get to tell people stories. Inside stories really goes beyond the news headlines. We get to tell the stories of those who have been affected by the event.
Inside stories at the side on Al Jazeera.
The UN's 8th Millennium Development Goals, ranging from halving extreme poverty rates, halting the spread of HIV/AIDS, and providing universal primary education, are due to be met in a year, galvanizing efforts to meet the needs of the world's poor. Al Jazeera looks at the progress and challenges ahead. Again, a reminder of the top stories on Al Jazeera. Debris from a missing Air Asia plane has been spotted and dozens of bodies have been recovered. Flight QZ8501 went down in the Java Sea on Sunday morning. Hundreds of the passengers heard the tragic news within the past 3 hours. There were scenes of despair as people began to come to terms with the fate of the electorate. Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny is calling for Vladimir Putin's government to be destroyed. The court has found him guilty of stealing money, but it's a suspended sentence that he won't be serving time in jail. Iraqi security forces say they've retaken the town of Juloya from ISIL fighters. Security forces say airstrikes were used to target the armed group. ISIL has occupied the town's northern half since June. Juloya is considered strategically important because it connects to a main highway to Baghdad and to a key military command center. Mohammed Abdel is live for us from Erbil, the capital of Iraq's Kurdish region. Tell us more about the government forces and the takeover of Juloya town from ISIL.
Well, then the retaking of Juloya town from ISIL by Iraqi forces and militia supporting them is a huge gain for them. Juloya, a town on the banks of River Tigris, is on the highway, as you said, that links Baghdad to Palestine province, where there is a massive operation right now going on against ISIL, and the command center for Palestine province is where this road links Baghdad to, and control of Juloya has given ISIL fighters the opportunity to cut off supplies from the forces who are fighting them in that province. Now, with the taking of Juloya, it also means that the ISIL stronghold of the Greek as well as the town they took last week of Beirut, which is very close to Iraq's largest oil refinery, are now surrounded by areas that are held by Iraqi government forces, and that means they can easily cut them off and cut their supplies.
Okay, you've recently been on the ground in Turkey to couple of briefly, but can you tell us more on what you've seen?
Well, because it's considered a small Iraq and it brings together Shia Arab, Sunni Arab, as well as Kurdish people and Turkmen, five people who live side by side in Kirkuk and their families for a very long time. The town is one of those that was really hit by the ISIL from over the fighters later on to move the ISIL forces to the outskirts of the town, where they are now still fighting them and stopping them from coming into the town of Kirkuk.
Or the conference after the city of Kirkuk. Conference between Kurdish Peshmerga forces and the Islamic State of Iran on the Levant River. The Peshmerga used standard as protection. There is a fair amount of incoming fire now. A short distance away, vital position display their trademark flag flag. The Levant River was in a heavy region or a
very small. That's why we are just 700 meters apart. They are always trying to push forward.
So far, the Peshmerga lines have sight, but ISIL fighters have been unrelenting in their operation to take oil-rich Kirkuk. The Kurdish forces have had to adopt some drastic measures. Fighting around Kirkuk has also come with its own humanitarian impact. This is the route that leads Kirkuk to towns and villages in the west. It's now totally closed, and Peshmerga fighters say they had to do that to protect themselves from ISIL forces.
We want many men to ISIL clubs. We have also on many occasions captured their spies around those positions. We have no intention to reopen this road.
On the other side of the blockade, in one of the civilian villages which ISIL now controls, we saw a few off-road vehicles. These men say all they care about is that ISIL does not return to Kirkuk. As far as they are concerned, it now belongs to them. Control of Kirkuk and its oil reserve is a huge achievement for the Kurdish forces, but so far, total victory and weakness. Ordinary life in these cities is far from normal. But in Aziz operates these restaurants and says business is bad.
I've secured my restaurant, but it's the general insecurity and the fighting that's keeping customers away. People are too afraid to venture out.
Kurdish Peshmerga fighters entered Kirkuk after the Iraqi National Army abandoned its post 7 months ago. The Kurds have long coveted Kirkuk and regarded it as their historical capital. In a country where history and past leaders play a key and violent part of the present, Kirkuk represents an Iraqi fault line. For now, it remains firmly in the grip of the Kurdish forces. Now, the current crisis seems to have given them time and opportunity to test new areas that include uncertain areas such as Kirkuk, and there is nothing at the moment that the Afghans can do about it. The feeling here is that as long as the area is contested, any of the two parties can control it.
Now, most public demonstrations are banned in Iran, but one of Baghdad's historical sites has now become a secret corner where free speech is flourishing. There are reports from the Iraqi capital. It's a blunt message to Iraqi leaders accused of being corrupt globetrotters. Lying politicians frauding our Muslims. One day in Iran, the next in Tehran. The people chanting was like to be protesting in Baghdad's Tahrir Square. The government has banned those demonstrations. Protests are allowed only here, near Al-Mutanabbi Street and Al-Kushla Square, the Ottoman-era military headquarters. After renovating the historic clock tower 2 years ago, Iraqi authorities opened the area to the public. This square dates back to the very beginning of Iraq's history as a country. It was abandoned for years, but now it's come back to life. Here within the safety of these old walls, you'll find politicians, poets, dreamers, all of them daring to imagine a different Iraq. Here, at least for now, there's the freedom to say what you want, dress the way you want, and do what you want. During the week, Yasser and his friends pulled down jobs while trying to finish high school.
This is the only place for us to breathe. Some people come to listen to poetry. Some come to read books. But this Friday, we changed our routine.
This Friday, Mirza has put a cigarette package on a stick and carried a smartphone used to take selfies. We don't have money for a camera, he says. Across the square, amateur poetry is a spectator sport.
Shayvon!
food for Kara. We grow older, but we are young. I look in the mirror and I see my shattered image. Talking to the next quote, you like to start a decode with the last syllable of the previous one. Based on Muhammad Ali poem is about love gone wrong. Our relationship is like the falling leaves of autumn, says based on Muhammad Ali. The audience agrees. The square is all about expressing yourself. And in a troubled country at uncertain times, just having space to breathe. Jane Rouse, Archfiend, Baghdad. In Yemen, another city is being seized by Houthi rebels. Local media say the takeover of Al Jamin in the western Rima province happened on Monday. It is the 8th city the Houthis have taken since July when they started to control the province of Underworld before moving on to the capital Sana'a. Journalists and campaigners around the world have been protesting in solidarity with 3 Al Jazeera journalists who've now been jailed in Egypt for more than 1 year. Peter Grexter, Mohammed Fatmi and Fatma Mohammed are being held behind bars in Cairo. They're falsely accused and convicted of aiding the outlawed Muslim Brotherhood and damaging Egypt's reputation abroad. An appeal is due to be heard on Thursday. A volunteer health worker has been transferred to a London hospital after contracting the Ebola virus in Sierra Leone. She's the first person to be diagnosed with Ebola in the UK. Earlier this year, the Royal Free Hospital successfully treated a British aid worker who had been diagnosed with the virus in Sierra Leone and then flown home for treatment. Another person is undergoing tests in Cornwall. Those results are due on Wednesday. Internet service providers in Thailand have been given new censorship powers. ISPs can now block websites considered to be national security threats or against the monarchy without official approval. Previously, they needed a court order to do so. The new laws also apply to social media sites. A senior Korean air executive who resigned after the row over a bad nut-based court, Choi Hyun-ha, is waiting to hear whether she'll be kept in custody ahead of a trial for breaching air safety and workplace regulations. Harry Porter reports from Seoul.
It's becoming a familiar if unwelcome ordeal for Choi Hyun-ha. Another round of public reckoning for her blistering reaction to a bag of nuts wrongly served in a first-class cabin. On December the 5th, Cho, then a vice president of Korean Air, shouted at the cabin crew chief, ordered the plane back to the gate in New York, and had the man thrown off. She stands accused by prosecutors